Okay, in the last lecture we have went through uh, what is quantity surveying, what are we required to do in quantity surveying. We went through some modern concepts as well, for example, value engineering, and what are the duties of a quantity surveyor, and again something which is expected more in modern projects from the quantity surveyor is risk management, that you have to be an advisor to your client. Okay, if the project cost comes out to be 10,000 BD, but you know that can be 8,000 BD, you advise your client. Okay, so you have to keep these things in mind. Okay, what skills and knowledge you should have to perform your job as a quantity surveyor. Okay, so these are all the things which you need to know in order to perform your job as a quantity surveyor. So most important things are you should have the knowledge of the prices. You should know the standards for measurement, how to measure something. Okay, because for each item the measurement can be different. You don't measure the concrete in the same way as you measure the wall paint or the plaster. Okay, so you must know how to measure them, what are the standards, what are the prices, what are the materials. Okay, all these things are required, and the standards which we normally follow all across the world are called as NRM, new rules of measurement. I don't know why they are still new, but this is what they call them. Okay, as given by Royal Institute of Cost Surveying something. Okay, and yeah, we didn't go through them, so we stopped till what is quantity surveying, what is the duty of a quantity surveyor, and what he should know to perform the duty which is required from him. Now we will move towards a very important item, which is the construction contract documents. Okay, as a quantity surveyor you have to read them, you have to understand them, you have to prepare them as well. Okay, so you are involved in all aspects of these documents. Now the most important thing about these documents, they are legal agreements. Okay, they are legal agreements. So for example, I give to you something, okay, and I mentioned in that thing that the wall height is going to be 10 feet. Okay, and then in the end I come to the site one day and I tell you, no, I wanted it 11 feet. Okay, so you, before doing the job, this is your responsibility that you will ask me for to make it legal. Okay, you will not just trust me, okay, he is saying 11 feet, make it 11 feet. Okay, because the thing which you signed earlier was a legal agreement. Okay, so when you change your agreement, you have to change it legally, formally. Get my point? Clear? Okay, so it's not like something, okay, take this and we will see what to do next. No, when you give me this thing, this legal agreement, we are bound by it till the end of the project. So if I do everything which is in the agreement, I have done my job. Okay, you cannot ask me for anything more, and I should not do anything less. Clear? Clear? Okay, so that's why these agreements are important. You cannot do a legal agreement every day, right? You have to be careful about it. Okay, even if you make the change, I mentioned last time that there are some cases in which changes are necessary, changes are important. Okay, you found something, maybe the prices went up, okay, or something which happened during COVID, there were restrictions on travel. Okay, so obviously in 2019 nobody knew what will happen in 2020 because of COVID, right? So if something like this happens, you will change something. Okay, but that change will again be in the documents. You have to go and change the document itself and you have to sign it again. Clear? Okay, so what are the things? First of all, so in this agreement, both parties, what are the parties who are signing these agreements? Tell me. Client and the contract. Okay, the client and the contractor most of the times. Okay, instead of the client, it could be the consultant as well, the architect or the design engineer. Okay, so it is very common. So the contractor agrees according to these documents that he will finish the job according to the drawing and specifications which the client has to provide, and the client will do what? Sign it and enjoy his life, right? Nothing else. He has to pay. See, biggest headache of the time. He has to pay. Okay, basic. This is these are the two basic duties. The contractor side, he has to fulfill the drawing and specifications, work according to the drawing and specifications. The client has to pay the money on time. Okay, as per the agreement. Okay. So in these documents, we have the rights and obligations. I mentioned two basic rights, one for each party. Okay, and it has the drawings as well. It has a specification. It has the bill of quantity. Okay, so drawings, you have already seen some drawings. You have made them as well, right? Which course? AutoCAD. Okay. The name of the course is not AutoCAD. Okay. 160. See, typical engineer. The name is 160. Directly coming from Netflix. The name of the course is what? You don't know why you're saying. What is the name of the course? You took it with me last semester. What? Very good. Graphics. Yes. Another game lover. Yes. Graphics. Okay. Computer aided design. Okay. Yeah, graphics is there somewhere. I forgot myself. Anyway, so in the rights and obligations, these are the terms and conditions. Contractor will do this, client will do this, consultant will do this, and so on and so forth. So these are terms written. Okay. In drawings, you are showing what? When you make the drawing, what are you trying to communicate? So if you look at a drawing, what do you get? Measurements. Okay, measurements, dimensions. Okay. The specifications are given with the drawings, and they tell you about the quality. Okay, they tell you about the quality. So if I give you the drawing of this wall, you will know the size of the wall, but you will not know the material to be used in the wall. Okay, yeah, we use some symbols even in drawing. We use some symbols. Okay, some what do we call it? Hatching, right? We put some filling inside to show them that it is concrete, or it is steel, or it is sand, or something. Okay, but still concrete is of different types, steel is of different types. Okay, so what type of steel you are going to use, what type of concrete you are going to use, this will all come under a specification. Okay, so drawings tell you what to do, specifications tell you what quality of work you are looking for. Okay, and the bill of quantity tells you what cost, and before the cost you must know the quantity. Clear? Okay, so these are all parts of your construction contract documents. Okay, some of the drawings you have already seen them. Okay, so the first one is only the drawing, so you don't see much text there. Okay, what type of a drawing is this? And what do we call the top view? Plan. Okay, it's a plan, it's a floor plan. Okay, maybe first floor, maybe ground floor, we don't know. Okay, so you can see the text is very limited, so it's a typical drawing. Then you come to this one and you see the drawings, and then you see some text is written with the drawings. Okay, so this text is supposed to tell you the specification. Okay, so this one is, for example, for a foundation, footing. Okay, and then you see what type of steel they are using, okay, what type of concrete they are using, okay. So the specifications are given with the drawings, and then there are some specifications which are just specifications given at the site, okay. They could be related to the equipment you are using. They could be, for example, all concrete will be pre-stressed. So I don't have to go in the drawing and write with each drawing that all concrete must be pre-stressed. Okay, I'll make a specification page like this, and I'll put these general items in this one. Okay, so here when I mention it with the drawing, so this thing is only for this foundation. This steel is only for this column, and so on. Okay, but if I have to say that the steel, all steel must be of this quality, and it is for the entire project, right? So I don't have to go to each foundation and each beam and each column and write this. I write it there. Okay, same thing with cables and pipelines and so on. Okay, you get the idea. This is the bill of quantities, the thing which we are more interested in this course. Okay, so in this you are to prepare this bill of quantities, you must know two things. You have to know how to quantify. Okay, quantify means how to measure them. Okay, like in what units you will measure. In what units you will measure each item. Okay, what are the units for concrete, what are the units for steel, what are the units for paint and plaster and so on. Okay, so this is called as quantification. Okay, and how these items will be measured on the site. Okay, what are the things about these items which should be measured on the site. Okay, I will give you an example later on, but it's okay, this is a sort of example for quantification. Okay, so this is a part of a bill of quantities table. You can see it's in the form of a table. Okay, and it's usually a very long table, maybe 10 pages, 12 pages. Okay, because we have so many items. Okay, so you can see the item over here. You can see the quantity of this item, and you can see the units of this quantity. Okay, in this case, I believe all of them are cubic meters. In this case, all of them are cubic meters. But we'll see some examples later on where we have other units as well. Okay, so this is where you must know how to quantify each item. Okay, when I say concrete, you should know how would you give me the quantity of concrete. Okay, will you give me in terms of weight, or cubic meter is what? Cubic meter means what? It is volume, right? It's volume. Okay, so some things are measured by weight, some things are measured by volume, some things are measured by area, some things are measured by length, and some of them are measured by number. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so and then you have the rate which is coming from the market, obviously, and then you have the total cost of this item, and at the end of the table you will see the total cost of the entire project, or maybe the total cost of one part of the project. So for example, total cost of first floor, total cost of second floor, something like this. Okay, so in this table you see the quantification side. Okay, but there's another thing where you will show how to measure them on the site. Okay, so for example, you say the first one is for excavation. Okay, so excavation quantity is how much? How much is the excavation quantity? First one. 117, right? 117. Okay. Now, 117 can be, it's cubic meters, right? Cubic meters. So I can go 100 meter deep, okay, or I can go 100 meter wide, or I can go 100 meter in length. So you have to tell me what are the measurements, right? If you just give me total, I can make a very deep hole, I can make a very wide hole, or I can make a very long hole. Okay, so this is where you have to give me the measurements. Okay, you will tell me this much width, this much height, this much length. Clear? Okay, so this is not given here.
Was the human resource included?
In this one, in some cases we do. In some cases we do. Okay, but since this is called the bill of quantities, so this is not the main focus. Okay, usually, for example, very good example, the first one, excavation. Excavation. Now 117 is what? Quantity of what? Soil, right? Huh? Where is the soil? On the ground, on the site, right? Is the contractor bringing the soils from somewhere? Is he purchasing the soil from somewhere? No, right? He will take the soil from the ground, right? So there is no material involved which is being purchased. The contractor does not need a new material, right? So what is the cost for? The resources. Okay? It could be the equipment, it could be the people. Okay? So when the contractor says, I will charge you 100 per cubic meter, he is not asking for cost of material. This is cost of what? Labor, equipment, material, effort. Got my point? Okay? So this is how the cost of labor is included. Okay? In many of the items, the cost of labor is included. Okay? And this is how the contractors usually give you the rate. Even if you go to a garage, okay, and you tell him, okay, I need the oil change. He will do the oil change, right? And he will tell you this much. Okay? He will not give you the breakdown. This much for the oil, this much because I opened the bottle of oil, this much because I had to get under your car. He will give you a full package, right? So this is the package cost. The contractor usually gives you the package cost. Okay, so when he says 100 per cubic meter, he is including everything. Got the point? Clear? So very rarely you will see an item here, number of people, labor, equipment. Usually it is not there. Okay? Because of it, it's not my concern, right? You put 100 people or you put 2 excavators, I don't mind. Okay? Okay. So a bill of quantities tells you the quantity of each item which is to be used in your project. These quantities are identified by drawings and specifications. Okay, so you must know how to read the drawing, how to understand them, and you must know how to use the specifications and what do they mean. Okay, the quantities as I mentioned, all of them are cubic meters here, but some of them could be number, length, area, volume, weight, or time as well. Okay, so what are the things I can measure in numbers? So you will tell me I need 2 of these or 3 of these. What? Huh? Now you have to talk loudly. This is like you are teasing me. Yes, what did you say? Work? Okay, anything else? Personnel? Okay. Equipment? Okay. What else? Huh? Machinery? Okay. Number of blocks? Okay. So, what about length? What is measured in length?
Wall.
Huh?
Wall.
Wall is not measured in length.
Pipe.
Huh?
Pipe.
Pipes? Yes. Pipes? What else?
Wires.
Some? Yes. Okay. So wires, pipes. Okay. They can be measured in, especially wires. Okay. They are measured in length. Volume, you can already see the examples. Okay. Area.
Wall.
Huh?
Wall area. Ground.
Wall area, ground area. The something which you put on the wall. Okay. Paint, plaster. Okay. So these are area. Some of them are measured in terms of weight. This many kilograms. This many tons.
Steel.
Cement. Steel. Steel is very common. Steel is very common. Okay. And then some of them are measured in terms of time, that is for equipments mainly. Okay, if you are hiring an excavator, you are hiring a crane. Okay, so that is in terms of time. Okay, usually BOQ is prepared by the client team because the contractor will not accept the work if he does not know the quantities. Okay, so you cannot say, okay, give me anything. He has to tell you what he is asking for. On the basis of that, you will give the price. On the basis of that, you will find out how much time you need. Okay. So, and you have to follow the standards, okay, in preparing the bill of quantities. And I already mentioned the standard. Which standard we are using? NRM. Okay. Yeah. SMM is like general term, and the name of the main standard is NRM, new rules of measurement. SMM is standard method of measurement. Okay. The purpose of BOQ, it will give you the price breakdown of the project. Okay, so there is the total price and there is the price of each item. Okay, so this is what is called as price breakdown for each item, and it will when you give this bill of quantity, so they can be different contractors, right? They can be different contractors who would be wanting your project. Okay, so one of them may give you a quotation of 10,000 BD. Another one may give you a quotation of 12,000 BD. Okay, and you give the project to the one which is giving what? Less price, obviously, right? Or more. Sure. Why do you guys buy iPhone then? Anyways. So you go for the less one, right? Okay. But the one which gave 12,000 BD may come, and this happens, right? You go and buy something and you tell that guy that this same thing is on this shop for this much price. Okay, but then he will tell, no, I am asking for more price because this item has more features. Okay, so this should not happen in a construction in a construction project. Okay, the guy who was quoting more price, he cannot complain later on that I thought that I have to do more concrete. That's why I gave you 12,000 BD. No, everybody is quoting the price for the same work. So your bill of quantities gives the chance to all contractors to price for the same work. Okay, clear? And remember, for bill of quantities, how do we prepare bill of quantities? Using what? If I ask you for bill of quantities, I should give you what? Drawings and specifications. Okay, so when you give the bill of quantities, that means you know the dimensions and you know the quality. Okay, so a contractor cannot say that this guy will use low quality cement, I will use high quality cement, that's why my price is high. No, I gave the specification, you are both have to give me the price for the same thing. Clear? Okay, so this is how it becomes more competitive as well. Okay, because then nobody can say that I am doing better work. No, you are doing the same work because I am asking you to do the same work. Okay, this I already mentioned. Okay, then you can compare the contracts without any problem. Okay, which one is less? I will go for this because work and quality is same. I told you earlier, how do you pay the contractor? How do you pay the contractor? So your total work is 50,000 BD. How do we pay it? All 50,000 BD, first installment, at the end, all 50,000 at the end? Huh?
Every stage?
Stage means what? $50,000 equal 10, 10, 10, like this? Huh? Come on, you were there. Huh?
Each thousand.
Huh?
Depends.
Enough, right? Huh? Depends on what? Yes.
Depends on the client and the contractor.
The contractor is my friend. He will come Thursday and take all the money
No.
and extra as well.
Depends
I
on
have a
the-
friend who can do that.
Depends on the work and
Work,
the time.
right? The work. Okay. So he will tell you, I have done this much concrete, and I have done this much steel, and I have done this many walls. So you will go back to your BOQ, and you will see which items he has done. Okay, he has done excavation. Excavation 11,700. So this much I can pay. Then he says, I have also done excavation for the trench foundation. Okay, trench foundation, how much? 16,000 something something. So when he will tell you the work, you will go back to your BOQ and you will see according to this much work how much I can pay. Okay, and obviously there is some advance payment as well, which you later on cut off from these items. But this is how you measure how much should be given to him. When you tell him, okay, you are allowed to get 20,000, but I already gave you advance 5,000, so I will cut it off now and give you the remaining, something like this. But depends upon his work, and when he will tell you the work, you will go back to your BOQ and you will see it. Maybe in construction engineering or construction management, they will tell you more details about how to do the costing, or like how to arrange the payments. Okay. Yeah. So there are rates as well, right? You can see the rate as well, per cubic meter how much. Okay. So for example, you found out later on that I have more area, or you bought more land. So earlier my land was smaller, now I have more area, so I can make a bigger project. Okay, so bigger project means more excavation, more concreting, more and so on. Okay, or because of anything, you wanted to build 3-story building, now you don't have the money, something happened with you, so you want to make 2-story building. Okay, so how will you measure the extra, or how will you reduce the price of the items you are not doing? Again, going back to the BOQ. Okay, so now my project is bigger. You were doing 117 cubic meters of excavation. Now you have to do 200 cubic meters of excavation. So you will go back to your BOQ, look at the rate, and you will decide what is the extra amount. Okay, or my foundations were bigger because my building was 5-story. Now it is only 4-story. So my foundations are smaller. So I need less concrete here. So instead of 5 cubic meters, I will only do 4 cubic meters. So how much amount will be less from this rate? Okay. So any variation, the cost of any variation in the project will also be calculated using the earlier rates of BOQ. Okay. It will also provide you a basis for settling the final account. Okay. Final account means project finished. Okay. But this is what the contractor is saying, the project is finished. You have to go and check, right? So check against what? Against the bill of quantities you gave him earlier. Okay, I told you this much concrete, this much steel, this much excavation, and so on and so forth. So you must have done all the work according to the quantities which you specified earlier. Only after checking the final quantities, you will settle the final account. Okay, so the final payment is not done. In some cases, the final payment is not done even after months after the project. It's like a warranty. You know, when you buy a phone or car or something, there's a warranty period, right? So sometimes in big projects, there's a warranty period as well. Anyways, the cost analysis which is done in this BOQ can be used in future projects as well. Okay, so in most of the construction companies, when you go there, okay, and I told you this would be most probably your first job, quantities and surveying and so on. Okay, so in most of the companies, when you go there, you will see the person who is senior than you, he will do something, the quantity and cost estimation in minutes, which is taking you hours. Okay, why? Because they already have the templates from the previous projects. Okay, so you tell them, okay, I want a 2-story villa. They will take the previous project of 2-story villa and make the changes and it's done. Clear? Okay. So one bill of quantity can be used as a reference for future projects. Okay, because the rates are there, the quantities are there, and so on and so forth. As I told you, bill of quantities are standard. Okay, so you have to follow the standard units, the standard methods of measurement, and so on and so forth. Okay, I already told you about NRM2. There's NRM3 as well, I believe, but it's not in the books. So we are not following it. So I don't know the changes. Okay, it also acts as cost control. BOQ also gives you a tool to see the cost control. Okay, and it's for the contractor. This is for the contractor. Okay, so for example, the contractor is doing the work, right? So he is paying upfront. He is paying from his pocket, right? He has to hire the labor, the excavator, the crane. He has to buy the materials. Okay, so he will get the money from the client after the job. He has to pay from the pocket in advance, right? Clear or not? Okay. So after he finishes the job, the first part of the job, now he can do the accounting. Okay, I have done this much concrete, I have done this much excavation, this much steel, I have hired these many laborers, and so on and so forth. And according to that, I should have spent this much money. Okay, now what is my account showing? If it's a smart contractor, then the account should be showing what? More or less? More? What kind of smartness is this? The account should be showing less. Okay, iPhone, right? Okay, got my point. This is for the people who are working on the project. So they can check how much money they should have spent and how much money they really spent. Okay, how much money they should have spent according to the plan. What is the plan? Bill of quantity. And how much money they actually spent. Okay, so if there is variation in the price, something happened on the site, some accident happened, now they have to pay extra money and so on. So they will know, okay, how much extra we have paid or how much money we are saving, okay, and so on. Okay, something which we will talk about in the later slides and the other lectures, but I told you just to give you a small taste of what type of calculations we normally do in quantity surveying. So for example, we have to calculate the quantity of concrete for a trench foundation. What is a trench foundation? Something like this. Okay, trench means is a very long excavated line. Okay, and you have to fill it with concrete. Okay, so how do we calculate the quantity of this thing? It's not an actual drawing, right? So it may not be the this thing is not there. Okay, it's just an example. So you have the length and you have the width and you have the depth. Okay, so what do? You multiply all of them. Okay, so how much we are getting? 4 cubic meters, right? Okay, it is simply 10 into 0.5 into 0.8. Clear? Okay, you have to take care of the units because in the drawings, if I have to write 0.8, I may write what? 8 what?
I might need that.
Maybe you don't write digits right.
8 will become what? If I write 8, then it doesn't. It is not meters. It is no. 0.8 meters. If I write 8, it means it is centimeters. 0.8 meters means 8 centimeters, right? Right or wrong?
Right. We have to say the question
Sorry?
asked. We have to say what the question asked.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is sometimes in the drawings you have done 160, right? CNG 160. Okay, so sometimes in the drawings you see the smaller dimensions it is written in centimeters or millimeters, and the long dimensions are written in meters. Okay, your favorite question in the exam, right? What we will do with meters and millimeters. You have to see what you are doing with the drawing itself. But anyways, so you have to take care of that. Okay, here in this example, no problem, there is no drawing. So you just multiply, okay, 10 into 0.8 into 0.5. But if one of them was in millimeters, then you have to do the conversion, okay? So this item will go in the BOQ in this way. Okay, so now you are writing the thing which you are doing reinforced concrete for foundations. Okay, this is the quality of concrete. Okay, we will talk about it later on. What does it mean? This is the quality of concrete. This is the quantity, and these are the units. Okay, this process of getting the quantity of something is known as quantity takeoff. Okay, so quantity takeoff is when you take one item and calculate its total quantity. Okay, we call it what? Quantity takeoff. Clear? Okay, then we have the tender package. Okay, we have already talked about it. This is part of construction documents. Okay, the tender package is part of construction documents. Okay, so you announce a project. I have a big project. The contractor will come to you and he will say, I want to give you my quotation. Give me the tender document. So you give him the tender document on the basis of which he will do the quotation. Okay, clear? This one is when you agree, when he will get the contract. Okay, yeah, you are my contractor, I am your client. This is the final one. This is before or after? This one is before or after? Before, right? Before he got the contract. Okay, so when he is coming to me, I need to do your work, I want to do your work, I want to take your project, I want to give you my quotation. You will give him the tender package, the tender documents. Okay, what do they include? The agreement. So he must know the terms and conditions. He will not sign it, and there can be some changes. Okay, the contractor may say, no, I will not do, you can change this clause, or maybe, for example, you write, I will give you 5% advance. But after he gets the contract, the actual final contract may have 10% advance. So these things can change. But the initial conditions are written. I've already talked about drawing, specifications, and BOQ. Okay, and it is used to get the prices from the contractor. Okay, and the main part, because he's talking about prices, so the price will come from BOQ. Okay, the main item from which he will calculate the price is the bill of quantities. Okay, and this is taken from the new rules of measurement. Okay, 1 and 2. And if you want to see more details about it, there's this book on the blackboard. Okay, there are some items which are measured in single dimensions. For example, length or depth. So you only tell him, I need this much length of this item, or I need this much depth of this item. Okay, so we talked about, for example, wires, right? For wires, we tell, I need this much length of the wire. Okay, so can he give you any wire of this length? No. Okay, you will still give him the other specifications as well. And one of the specification is the cross-sectional area. When we measure something in terms of length, it means the area is what? If I am giving just the length, that means what I am doing with the cross-sectional area? I am ignoring it. Why? Because it is too small? No. Not necessary. Why? Yes. Why would I ignore something? Why would I just tell you, okay, give me this much, 10 meters of wire? That's
It's
so
constant.
what happens?
Constant.
The area is constant. Okay. So when you give quantity of one dimension, that means the other dimensions are constant. Okay. So I don't need to measure it again and again. What's my point? It doesn't mean other dimensions are too small or I can ignore them. I'm not ignoring them. So with the wires, you will see the dia is given. With the pipes, you will see the dia is given. Okay. So dia tells you the area. Okay. So I'm not ignoring anything. Same thing with the depth as well. If you just give the depth, that means again the area is constant. Okay. So normally this is done with the pipes. Okay. And yeah. If you are measuring something in terms of area, then the thickness should be given, and this is very important for the pipes. Okay. Now pipe, you can give the diameter. Okay. A pipe can be 1 meter dia, like for a pipeline, oil pipeline or something. It can be 1 meter dia. Okay. But is this the thickness of the pipe?
No.
No.
Only the whole.
Okay. 1 meter is the full measurement. The thickness, because the pipe will be hollow, right? The pipe will be hollow. So what is the thickness of the pipe itself? What is the thickness of the wall of the pipe? Okay. So that's why you have to give internal and external diameter as well. So if you are, there can be some items in which you may give the thickness as well with the dia. Okay. Once you have found the length and the area, you can convert into weight as well. And this is again something which is very common with steel, with wires. Okay. Pipes, not so much, but okay. So you give the initial measurement as this much area and this much length, and then later on it can be converted to weight as well. Okay. Then there is soil as well. So soil, you are excavating or something. Maybe you are filling up the soil. So you already excavated, okay, and you did the concreting and foundation and everything. Now you have to fill up the remaining area. Okay. So you may need soil for that as well. The usual standard is all types of soils can be used for backfilling. Okay. There are very, very special cases where you throw the soil which you have excavated from the ground. Very special cases. Okay. The soil is not good for the steel which you are using. The water table is too high. The soil is very soft. Something like this. Okay. Normally we want to use the natural soil for backfilling. Okay. Because it's good for the ecosystem. It's very cheap as well. Okay. So normally backfilling is done with the same soil. And soil is measured in terms of cubic meters. Okay. Now, I have already uploaded the books, and one of the books is the new rules of measurement, NRM2. Okay, so if you go to that standard, you will see these classes. So class 1, 2, and 3, and 4, they belong to the soil. Okay, so whatever classes you are seeing, you can go back there and you can check the standards in these classes in the NRM. Okay, concrete is again measured in volume. And concrete is made up of aggregates, water, cement, and sand. Okay, and we may use some chemicals in concrete as well. Okay, these chemicals are normally used to provide more strength, maybe. Okay, or we have very hot climate. Okay, so water evaporates very quickly. So then you start to see the cracks. I forgot. There's a special name for these cracks. Sorry.
You mean that mixture?
Yeah, we put admixtures to make the concrete be more or to improve the qualities of concrete. Okay, so if you are using those admixtures, then you have to give the quantity of the admixtures as well. But normally, if it is normal concrete, the first 4 items, this much cubic meters of concrete. That's it. You don't have to give the quantity of water and sand and aggregate and cement separately. No. You don't have to do that. Concrete cubic meter, this much. If you are using some admixture, then you have to give the concrete of the quantity of that thing separately. Yeah, and when you are mentioning the concrete, as I showed you earlier, you have to provide the quality as well. What type of concrete? All concretes do not give the same strength. Okay. So, for example, we use this type to show the quality of concrete. Okay. So this means normal concrete, normal cement. Okay. We call it OPC, Portland cement. Okay. This is strength of concrete. Okay. Normally in megapascals. Okay. Or kilonewton something. So this is strength of concrete. This is the maximum size of aggregate you will use in the concrete. Okay. So cement type, strength, and maximum size of aggregate. Okay. All aggregates will not be of the same size, but this is the maximum one. Clear? Okay. Now this means what? Tell me.
Time,
Cement type,
strength,
strength,
aggregate, maximum aggregate.
maximum aggregate size. Clear? Okay. Okay. So these are the types of cement we can have. We have ordinary Portland cement, we have rapid hardening Portland cement, and we have sulfate resistance Portland cement. This is most common one. Okay. But we can use this one in hot climate as well, because you know the water will evaporate very quickly. So you want the reaction to be done fast. You can use this one. This one is used underground because the soil may have some sulfate, and sulfate can do the reaction with water and cement. So it will destroy your concrete. Okay, steel bars are normally measured in tons. Ton is what? Volume? Area? Weight, right? Okay. So whatever you calculate, then you have to convert it to weight. Clear? Okay, plastic pipes which you use for plumbing or for electrical works, you have to give the type of pipe. Okay, so what types of pipes you have? Plastic, concrete, okay, aluminum, okay, fiber, okay, cement pipes as well, yes, they are there. Okay, so you have to give the types, you have to give the diameter of the pipe, and you have to give the length of the pipe, and as I already told you, if the pipe is very big, then you have to give the thickness as well. Okay, especially for concrete pipes, concrete or cement pipes, you need to give the thickness. Okay, other items which you may have to use on the project: wood, aluminium, waterproofing, okay, paints, blocks and ties, and yeah, lights as well. Okay, so we will continue next time. Any questions? Any problems? Okay.